Okay guys, how to mix the RESINFX Deep Pour. When you're mixing our RESINFX Deep Pour, I like to use two containers. One container, I measure out my volume that I'm going to need for my resin. So I'll do that first. I'll just zero my container. Always make sure that your container is clean. This one's a bit dirty. It's been sitting in the shop and it's got pretty grubby. Open up your lid. Make sure that nothing falls inside. Measure out the volume you want. Now when you're doing your mixing of your deep pour or any of our RESINFX resins, please do it by weight, not by volume. This is because the hardener has a different weight scale to the actual resin. I'm going for 1 kilo. This is a 2-to-1 ratio. 1 kilo of resin equals 500 grams of hardener. Once again, ensure that your container is nice and clean. Last thing we want is impurities getting into our product. You want to be as accurate as possible. I like to be within 5 grams. Once I've weighed out my two components, I like to swirl my hardener around the outside edge of my container. And I always add my resin to my hardener, not my hardener to my resin. The reason for this is I'm ensuring that this container has been lined with hardener. If I was to put the hardener directly into the resin container, I might have some resin stuck on the sides that's not going to get all the hardener into it. You'll want to mix your resin for at least 2 to 3 minutes. What you're looking for is clarity. You want your resin and your hardener to be well blended. I guarantee you this will be the best product you ever use. With a lot of deep pour resins, you'll notice when you mix it, still looks quite thick, looks a bit gluggy. And the other thing, it holds a lot of air. With the RESINZWOOD RESINFX, as you can see here, the micro bubbles are minimal. Once I've given it a good mix in this container, I like to transfer it into a second. I do this 2 or 3 times. This ensures that all the particles are very well mixed. Now I'm just going to put this aside over by the fan heater. The warm air blowing on the sides of the container will release all that air in my resin. This is fantastic for rivers and doing rivers and deep pour jobs. This would have to be the most clearest resin you'll ever find.